This is part 2 of my Proton Pack version 2 build, and as you can see there's quite a few parts been printed out now. We have the gun box, which you've already seen, which comes in the various different pieces. I've also printed out the second gun box, which still has the support material on the bottom. That just needs ripping off, so I can get a flush fit onto the side here. And I've also printed out the end of the barrel, which is called a flash eliminator, I believe. And this print came out really well. I printed it that way around, so it just kind of printed upwards. And then on one of them I blasted some chrome over it, and I think this has got a really nice shine to it. If I stick some black on it as well to weather it, that's going to look great. I want to spray all of the metal parts of the Proton Pack in this chrome colour to give them a real nice shine. And then I'll just go over it with the black acrylic paint that we've got, just to give it a bit of an oily look. So a couple of other bits that I've printed so far is the circuit board, which sits next to the gauge on the front of the Proton Pack. You can plug a little SATA cable into there. I just need to print out all the knobs and stuff. And I've also printed out the gauge cover. Now I think this might be a little bit too big, but I won't know until I get the rest of the Proton Pack together and see if everything fits in. So I've printed 2 of those as well, 1 for each pack. Next I wanted to show you the 3D work that I've been doing. Now I've been using Autodesk 123D Design to import all of the parts of the Proton Pack and just view how they look together. And please excuse the fact that I am just recording my TV. I need to get some screen capture software, which hopefully I'll get in the future, but for now this will have to do. So far I've printed off the gauge, which doesn't look too big. I think it might give a little bit of character anyway. I've printed off the circuit board, which is there. And what I also did was took the PPD arrangement, I think it's called, off Thingiverse, which is this section up here, and I've remodeled it myself in 123D, and I've made it one entire piece. So, and if I zoom in, you'll see that I've also put mounting holes in the bottom to attach it onto the board. So that entire section, all 3 of those boxes, should print off in one piece. Next thing I did was take sponge faces, black inner, whatever you want to call it, which is part of the Faraday cage, and I tried to insert it into a dome which will be about the same size as the picnic food cover that I'll be using. And sadly it stuck out the top, so I had to shrink it down to 90mm. So all of that part in there that you can see, in fact if I hide this, you should be able to see it better. All of that section in there, that's by Sponge Face on GB Fans, as well as the top grill here by him. It's available on Thingiverse. I also made a bracket at the top for holding the ball valve with the green handle on it. I'm just literally trying to make as much as I can in plastic to reduce the weight of this as much as possible. And I remodeled this gauge box over here to fit my requirements. The final little thing that I did so far is where the toolbox normally goes. You can print it in like 2 massive pieces, the toolbox and then the lid as well, but what I've decided to do instead is split it down into a frame, which just consists of, if I hide this then you'll be able to see, those 2 parts and then the bar across the middle, which will probably just be PVC tube. And what I intend to do with this part is just basically wrap them both in plasticard, I think it's called, or styrene, a thin styrene. You can get like plastic angle joints which have a 45 degree in them. I'll use those to keep the corners rigid, and then just wrap it in the plasticard stuff to create the toolbox. Still not sure how I'm going to do the lid of the toolbox yet, but we'll see when we get to that part. Now, over at the printer, you can see that part of the toolbox is printing one of the supports on the edges. Now, looking at this on the build platform, I'm a bit concerned that it might be a bit too small. I've taken some measurements and it does seem a fraction smaller than the toolbox I was using previously, but that toolbox was literally just bought straight from Amazon. So we'll see how this one turns out, and if it's a bit pants or it's a bit too small, then I'll just start again. Over here you can just about see the toolbox I was using on the previous pack. You won't be able to see the difference in size from the video, but it does look considerably bigger. So that's all I've really got for part 2 right now. I need to do a few more designs on Autodesk 123D and print another 3 parts of the toolboxes, and then I can move on to something else. Right, the end of the toolbox has just finished printing whilst I was editing up the video, and I just need to wait for the plate to cool down now so I can get it off, because it is stuck firm. It's still not very comfortable to touch, so it'll be a couple more minutes yet. Here is the end of the toolbox actually finished. As you can see, it's still got the support material on the bottom. Now this stuff is so satisfying to remove. Basically, when you do any 3D printing, it prints onto what's called a support material so that it sticks to the bed properly and doesn't fly around whilst you're printing. And taking it off is just a case of peeling it. It's really difficult to do with one hand. And it just comes straight off and you can throw that away. And then by the looks of it, there's some more on that section, which I will remove now. That was actually a lot more difficult than I was expecting, so I'll probably leave it until later. So here we have the end. And now, the problem that I have is, as I mentioned in a previous video, I was thinking about getting my noisy cricket to pop out of there. And by the looks of it, that is going to be very difficult, because it barely even fits in there.
Oh, hell no.
So this part may need to be printed again. So, the end fell off. Oh well. So, hopefully this is actually the right size, but I'm not convinced. So, we'll see how we get on with another print soon. And for now, I'll leave that video there. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to me so I have somebody to actually show my videos to. And also like my Facebook page, Captivating Costumes. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. I want to spray all of the metal parts of the pack in this chrome colour, which why am I f***ing up? I don't know what you're trying